Hello everyone and welcome to a GT3 race. We're racing at Spa, we're racing with the JustRace community. This is the first of 6 races from the GT3 Championship. Starting at the pole, getting quite a bad start with the turbo engine, and we get overtaken by the Mercedes at the line. Not too bad though, this is a 30-minute race, so we'll try to get past again. We also get overtaken by the Audi in turn 1, settling into third after the first turn, going into Eau Rouge. Let's see if we can overtake these guys and get a win in the first race. Getting a better run through the Eau Rouge than the Audi, but he seems to pull away a little bit on the Camel Straight, so we'll just slot into the slipstream. Have a little look on the inside. Wasn't planning to overtake, I just wasn't sure where he was going to brake and where I was going to brake because of the cold brake, so I didn't want to ride into him. We are running full damage, so if I ran into him we would both get some damage and probably had to pit and lose the race. So just wanted to play it safe. In the third place still, behind the Audi and the Mercedes in the first. I do want to win this one. GT3 is probably my favourite class in RaceRoom, as we get quite close to the Audi, quite uncomfortable. Wasn't sure why he braked that early, but I will need to watch out the next time round if we're still behind. Having a look here at the inside, and we'll get alongside the Audi, but I'm not sure if he saw me or not. He cuts back into the corner. He was in front, so he is entitled to do that. We have a small touch, but no damage to either of us. We continue running in the same order. Once again, getting quite close to the Audi. I had to brake harder than I would usually do. I'm getting some oversteer, but keeping the car in the right direction. Getting a slightly better run here. Thinking about having a look on the inside. And I do actually go alongside the Audi, but again, I'm not sure if he saw me, so I just decided to pull out of that one and try again the next lap. Going into the bus stop, finishing the first lap, going quite wide. I must have missed my braking point, to be honest. This was quite intense at the start. You can see in the mirror there's a Mercedes very close to the back of us, so I'll just go on the inside, cover the inside, and as soon as I saw him go to the outside, I pull out a little bit just to get a better entrance to the first corner. He's still quite close to us, but we were a lot quicker in the qualifying, so I do know that I can pull away from him. However, first and second place have pulled away from us quite significantly because of that mistake in the bus stop, so I just need to try to catch up with them as soon as possible. As I said, this is the first race in the JustRace Community Fan Championship. We are running 6 races in the GT3 round, 6 races in an F4 championship, and 6 races in the Silhouette championship. Silhouette races are on Tuesdays, F4s on Thursdays, and GT3s on Sundays. Anyone is welcome to join. You just need to register on the JustRace website and own the RaceRoom content. We have tried to make the Silhouettes either with free or starter pack content, so people don't have to spend a lot of money to be able to race with us. This is just a fan championship. However, we do have some prize giveaways at the end in February, where anyone that has run a race with us will be entitled to win one of the 4 VIP prizes. VIP is being the currency for RaceRoom, which lets you buy the content. You can see over the second lap we get a little bit closer to the Audi in second. However, I can also see that the Mercedes in front is pulling away. So I do really need to try to catch up with the Audi and overtake as soon as I can, to then just focus on catching up the Mercedes. We'll see how that goes. Braking at my usual braking point this time for the bus stop, and getting a good run through there. You can see in the mirrors that the Mercedes that was close to us the last lap is quite far behind already, so I don't have to worry about them. anymore. Just focus on getting good entries and exits to every corner, going as fast as I can, as it is only a 30-minute race, so every lap counts. This is a 13-lap race. There was 14 of us that started. I think 13 people finished. Someone disconnected through the race, and not sure why. Just having a look that there's no one alongside me or close behind me. Braking slightly before the orange curb on the left into these corners. Just a little lift for this one, keeping it in third. Here again, braking just before the orange curb, shifting down into second and just letting the car roll through the corner, off the brakes and off the throttle, picking up the throttle on the exit. Once again, I can see that we're getting closer to the Audi, so I'm pretty certain at this point that we will have a battle at least, hopefully overtake him. However, I do need to keep the pace to be able to overtake the Mercedes at the front. Getting just a little understeer out of that corner. A little bit wide, but that's okay. We'll still keep it within the track limits and not go on off to the dirt, which will slow us down considerably. You can now see we are a lot closer to the back of the Audi than we were a lap or 2 laps ago. So hopefully within the next lap or 2 we'll be able to overtake him. We just started lap 4, still in 3rd position, with the unfortunate start, losing from the pole position. In the slipstream of the Audi, having a small look on the inside, more to just let him know that I'm there, possibly force him into a mistake, which he did make, but I also made a small mistake outbraking myself, so we both gone a little bit wide. I didn't get a chance to overtake him. Here again, braking just a little bit later than the Audi, having a small contact here. I'm having to lift heavily in the middle of the corner as the Audi is very slow, but that's okay, that's a fair racing. That's on the edge of fair racing. You can have your opinion in the comments. Here braking just a little bit too light for the corner, and I run a little bit wide. I had to shift down into third. Usually you would take that corner in 4th gear. Just like on lap 1 or 2, can't remember exactly, but we tried to go on the inside of that corner a moment ago, but Audi cutting back in front again. He's a little bit slow off here. This corner you have to try to take full throttle if you can. Again, much better exit than the Audi, but again Audi seems to be a little bit faster in the straight line. Not sure if he's running less downforce or if he's just got more power. But a small touch here, I will let him through and try into the bus stop. Very similar braking points at the bus stop, so I just slot in behind the Audi. He goes quite wide. I don't manage to overtake him, but we are very, very close getting onto the main straight. We are now on lap 5, so out of 13 laps, so about a third of the race already gone. Once again we can see the Mercedes in first, ever so slightly pulling away. And if I really want a shot at winning this race, I do need to get past the Audi as soon as I can. We get much better run through the Eau Rouge in the slipstream, faster than the Audi on the straight, and I'll just brake a little bit later than I would usually do, run a little bit wide, but I just wanted to make sure that the Audi doesn't cut back and we get past the Audi at the end of Camel Straight. Now we just have empty road. We can just hit our marks, chase the Mercedes. I was faster in the qualifying, so I hope if I just hit my marks and I have a good lap time, I'll be able to catch up and hopefully overtake the Mercedes for the win. We'll see how that goes. The Audi a little bit behind, but still close, so I have to keep an eye on him. Don't want to do anything stupid, any mistakes. I also don't want to brake too early, so he doesn't run into me. Obviously he didn't get any running behind me, so he now has to watch where I brake and adjust accordingly his braking points. A little bit oversteer into this corner, but managing to keep the car pointing in the right direction. Once again having a look into the mirror just to see where the Audi is, whether he will have a run on me into the bus stop or not. I think he's quite far back, so he shouldn't be able to do it this time. Just a quick look into the mirror to make sure the Audi's not alongside me. I am recording this off the RaceRoom replay. I think the next time I will record the live race just to give you guys a little more of the overlays, the position bar and the time remaining, as those seem to be not working on the dashboard. Well, the position is, but the timing isn't, and you can't see the tire information and any of that. Down into third gear, just letting the car roll through the first section and then slightly accelerating before the second turn. Small lift for this one here. Wide onto the curve, using as much road as possible but not running into the gravel. That would slow us down a lot. Again, just letting the car roll through here. Slightly wide in that corner, had to lift off, otherwise it would go very wide. The Audi might even be able to overtake us, which I really don't want, as we spent quite a long time trying to overtake it. I can't waste any time now trying to chase the Mercedes in first. In the race I am also running the CrewChief app, which obviously is a separate app, so the replay won't have its recordings, but that app just lets you select what information you want relayed to you, like position of the opponents, your lap times, tyre temperatures, etc. And it's quite helpful with the awareness of where other cars are, especially when they're alongside you and you can't see them. So when I'm running that in the race, it's a lot easier. You don't have to look sideways every time you think there's a car there. You might also not be able to see it, but the CrewChief will let you know that they're there and you need to adjust your line. just having a little scary moment here. Got into the turn a little bit too quick and the rear just gave up on the grip. So having a little oversteer. I'm running traction control, however that's not going to do much when we're off the throttle, so just had to make sure we counter steer enough but not too much to not rotate the car the other way around and not spin. We managed to do that. The Audi closed up a little bit. Unfortunately, the main disadvantage is that we lost some ground to the Mercedes, and we were closing, but now we're about as far as we were when we overtook the Audi. And again, the Audi is quite close, so we can feel that pressure from behind. Most of those mistakes are due to that pressure, as I know that I can make them, but it just takes my mind off focusing on the driving. But I really don't want the Audi car to overtake me. Once again, having a little oversteer there. Could be down to tyre wear, although these GT3 cars could run a much longer race than half an hour on one set of tyres, so we should be able to manage these tyres, and these tyres at this stage should be good enough for us to push flat out. Again, if I record this from the live race, you'll be able to see the tyre wear. It is usually shown in those red boxes on the left hand side of the dashboard, so not sure why in the replay mode this game doesn't show it, but I think the tyres went down to about 70 or 75% by the end of the race, if I remember correctly. It's still fairly good. You don't really feel any difference in driving. And you can push hard on those tyres. Just braking a little bit too late into the corner. I already knew that when I started braking. I saw that orange curb coming way too fast at me, and we ran wide. At this stage, I just realized that or I think to myself that I just need to start hitting the marks. I need to concentrate on my driving, not worry about the Audi behind. He hasn't overtaken us for the last few laps. He is still close, but hasn't really put any threat on us, so I just need to concentrate on hitting my marks, doing the best laps I can, and catching the Audi, as we only have about 5.5 laps left of this race. Slightly quieter time as I now try to just do my best, slightly getting away from the Audi actually, so that's a good sign. I can also, I think I can see that we are getting closer to the Mercedes, but we're still quite far away, so I just need to do my best. But just in this time, thank you guys for watching. I am new to this YouTube thing. I've only started a few months ago. Hopefully I'll start putting up more videos as much as I can if I've got time to edit these. But if you have any suggestions of what to improve, sound wise, visual wise, editing wise, anything, also my racing technique, I'm not a racing driver, I just do it for fun. Please feel free to comment. I'll read those comments and hopefully take the advice on board so we can both enjoy this. Also, if you like this video, please leave a thumbs up. Like all YouTubers say, that helps a lot with promoting the channel. And subscribe. We'll have a lot more of this content hopefully coming over the next weeks. Hopefully you can see I'm now much smoother than a couple of laps ago, just trying to brake at a normal point, doing everything I practiced before the race, which in the end just gives me the best lap time possible, and we can see that we are getting closer to the back of the Mercedes. However, we only have about 3.5 laps now, so we need to start really closing in on him if I want to win this race. And of course I do, I just don't want just to settle for the second. No driver will tell you that they will just settle for the place that they've got. They always want to go up higher if they can, unless they're winning. getting to the end of lap 11 now. You can see we're a lot closer to the back of the Mercedes than we were a few laps ago. At this point, I've got hope that we can overtake him. I was starting to lose that a little bit, but I now can see that we are quite significantly faster. I know that the Mercedes driver is a very good driver, doesn't make many mistakes, if any. Although he does go a little bit narrow here, I'm not sure why. I wasn't able to overtake him from that far back. I'm not sure if that's just his normal line, or if he was starting to go defensive. But he's a very good driver, very fast driver. We're always very close on the grid in all of those races. So I know I just have to do my best if I want to overtake him. So I don't think I said this at any stage in this video. I am driving the BMW M6, which you could see just at the start of the video in the overhead shot. The BMW M6 in the Dunlop livery. I just very recently released livery from RaceRoom, a very beautiful livery I think. But I'm mainly driving the BMW because I found it very comfortable and very suiting to my driving style. I was previously driving the Mercedes a lot in the GT3 group, but I ran a little bit of a test here and found that car being very understeery, and the BMW just suiting me a lot more, so I switched the cars. But the Mercedes in front is also a very fast car. Both front engine car, BMW and Mercedes, both turbocharged. However, I think BMW has only one turbocharger, whereas Mercedes has two. Very similar on weight and power, but obviously a slightly different design of the car, so differences in performance will be visible on some tracks. We will go to some tighter tracks with this championship, so we'll see how the cars perform there. Also, we have a lot of Audi and Porsches driving with us. Hopefully people will stay with the same car so we can see how they perform on different tracks. Just getting to the end of lap 12, and we are now very close to the back of the Mercedes. We must have gained about a second on the last lap alone. I have a small look on the inside just before the braking, before the braking into the bus stop. But I was too far back, so I just slotted behind and I wait for another opportunity. He goes very close to the inside. I'm not sure why I again was quite far back, wouldn't be able to overtake him from this far. If I braked much later than him, I would probably go past, but overshoot the corner massively and not be able to overtake him until the end of this race. But this is now the last lap. Through the Eau Rouge, small lift, we seem to get a better run of there. And we seem to be a little faster in the straight line, but as soon as we pull out of the slipstream, we do go faster, but we are not fast enough to overtake him before the turn. Like I said, I am running the crew chief out, so that will let me know that he's still there. That's why I braked a little bit later. I let him brim on the inside, and he does actually go through back into the first. Very good driving from the Mercedes driver. Not hitting me, not outbraking himself, not ruining any of our races, just staying calm, staying in first position. At this stage, I know that we are getting close to the end of the race. This is the last lap, and I know this track fairly well. And we are running out of possibilities to overtake the car, so I am thinking to myself that I just need to be close to the back of him, as I run a little bit wide for here, but the Mercedes is quite slow as well, so I don't lose too much time. I know that I need to be close to the back of him before the bus stop, or before the straight that leads into the bus stop, and that will be my best shot at overtaking him if I want to win this race. And this is now where that preparation begins. A good run out of this exit, and the next corner being crucial. Going a little bit narrow here, but the Mercedes going wide, so we don't lose too much time. I'm actually I get a much better exit. I go alongside the Mercedes here on the inside. I wanted to go on the other side because that would give me the inside into the bus stop, but Mercedes driver very cleverly covering that here. I'm not quite sure where he is, I can't see him. I think he was on the outside, so I might have run him a little bit wide. I do apologize if that was the case, but we are on the last lap, so this is just hard racing. Almost spun into the first part of the bus stop, but I do get a better run through the bus stop, and we do go into the first place just in the last corner. Very good racing from the two guys in second and third, the Audi finishing third. And that is it for today. We'll see you the next week. We are racing again GT3 at Chang International. Very fun circuit. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe and comment. I'll see you the next time.